get back to the debates. So yeah, if you want to debate me, make sure you add me on Discord. And once you are accepted on Discord, make sure you message me what you're wanting to debate. All right, let me fix the title. Or we'll just leave the title. But yeah, we have time for a couple more. Good job, Pope. Good job. You know, Pope, you're doing so much better. You know, Pope, do you want to help me debate these incels, man? Like, I need backup on, you know, the incels that want to debate abortion. Like, if any of my mods or you guys want to volunteer to back me up, who is pro-abortion and can help me with these? Because I need somebody. Because I'm not ever doing any more abortion debates myself. Nothing gets through. Need backup. Incel, I think you guys know what an incel is. Come on. But yeah. Who wants to debate next? And, you know, and it's not about a middle ground. It's just that nothing gets through. You know, with the abortion specifically, there's like no getting through to them. So let me know if there's a different topic that's not abortion, because you guys have given me a headache. Okay, 7 wants to debate. Welcome. Incel number 1, and congratulations on being first. Hello? Oh, your mic's not working. Hello? What is up with guys? Oh, wait, talk?
Hello?
Okay, now we're good. Okay. You said you're European, so am I.
I had to install Discord on my phone just for this.
Okay.
For the special occasion.
What part of Europe?
I'm living in Spain now, but I'm actually from the Netherlands, Amsterdam.
No way, man. I'm part Dutch.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Do you speak Dutch?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
I love Amsterdam, though. My favorite place in Europe.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful. The air is so fresh, man. The flowers, best place in Europe. But
yeah, you like the tulips?
Yeah, it's just so fresh, man. It's so beautiful there, right? I love the flowers. Love it.
Well, I kind of left it though. I really needed to leave the whole country, the whole environment.
Oh, what was wrong with Amsterdam?
People, well, it's with all the big cities. When people stop saying hello to each other and they're just living their own life, I kind of like the small town life where people say hello and greet each other, being all friendly.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, people are more introverted.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call it introverted because when they go out and drink, it's all fun and games, you know. But yeah, it's when you walk into the supermarket, they don't say hello anymore, and that kind of bothers me.
Okay, I could see that.
It's the social interactions that go wrong, you know.
So they're less friendly.
Yeah, they're on their they you could call them introverted. Yeah, the Spanish are very different, you know.
Oh no, for sure. But okay, so state your case. Tell me what you want to debate. Tell everybody.
I'm pretty open to anything. I mainly wanted to talk about gender dynamics. Okay. And like in your opinion, where has it all gone wrong? You know, I'm 26. Might be old, might be new to this beautiful world, but I don't seem to recall it being so toxic.
I agree with you, actually.
10 to 8 years or something.
I actually agree with you. You know, but be more specific by that. Like what do you mean by this? Like, give an example.
Well, I was listening to your stream, and for example, the incel thing. I think the guy made a good point. It means involuntarily celibate, sure. And then you said, yeah, but they're all mean. And I mean, sure, okay, let's say 90% is mean. Okay, whatever. I don't think so, but even if that was the point, what's the um what's the goal or what's the motivation behind saying they're all mean? Or I could say the same to the guys, you know, saying all women are this or that, you know.
Yeah. Well,
It doesn't work like that. We
right.
should know. We're moderate people, right? Like,
well,
nuance.
I was just explaining to the guy because he was like, "Why are women calling men incels if being a male whore is a bad thing?" And I was trying to explain to him that the reason why is because usually the mean guys that hate women are mean and hate women usually because they can't get sex, right? Does that make sense? Like, so it's not that they're classy and clean guys, it's that they can't. Like, if they could, their body count would be 1 million. Like does that make sense? Like, so that's what an insult means. It's like, oh, so you're a woman hater just because like no one wanted to sleep with you. And it's like they kind of do it to themselves, right? Because they're so mean and they have a very bad view of women.
To a point.
Yeah, so it's like self-sabotage. It's like if you see women as objects and you know you're incapable of even having a friendship with a woman or getting along with a girl, of course you're going to be involuntarily celibate.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
but
that's just how it is.
I think, for example, you're a guy, and the first meeting you have with this woman, or the interaction you try, you're not gonna be mean the first time. So I understand if a guy is like incel for like 20 years, completely messes up his mental state, and he gets mean. I see that happening, and I would say the same thing happening on the other side with women, and I wouldn't say all feminists, but there's this very specific way for feminism, and I do agree with if the guy is incel after so many years, this can turn to hate. I completely agree. But would you say it's already the point of hate before he even, you know, stepped into the high school and had his first date? Is it already hate then?
I'm not sure, honestly, because when I was in high school, it was not like this. This seems to be new, honestly, from my perspective at least. I didn't encounter
Completely
it.
agree.
Huh?
Completely agree.
Yeah.
The thing is, have you heard about the nice guys finish line? Of course you have.
Yeah, I have. And tell me, what are your thoughts on that?
I've been a nice guy, and I can tell you it doesn't work out. And I'm in a relationship for the past 8 years now, doing good. Don't tell her, but I will go on my knees soon. The thing is,
you'll go on your what?
On my knees soon, you know, ask her.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, I mean, it should have happened earlier, I believe, if I asked her, but I mean, I needed to grow up a bit, you know?
Oh, yeah, you should never rush. I don't think anybody should ever rush because it'll just lead to doubts, right? So it's good to wait, actually. I think that's healthy. Wait until you're 100%. It's best for both of you.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, actually.
I took it slow, and I have a great relationship. I hope she thinks that as well. And I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I can't put words in her mouth, but I know it's going great. Mm-hmm. Thing is, I used to be this nice guy, and it's very hard to be a nice guy and get the results you're looking for, and the result is not always just sex.
Right, like attention, right? Like it's like the negative attention thing, right?
Well, it's the result is just looking for social interaction. I mean, as a guy, I can still remember the first compliment I got in high school, and it was one of the only compliments I ever got from a girl, and that sticks to you because as a guy, you won't get as many compliments. You won't get as many people coming up to you, talking to you. It's. I don't want to put myself in a victim position, but as a guy, you're going through life pretty lonely till you find that right person. You know.
Right. I mean, true, but.
And being a boring, nice guy, it doesn't put you in a position to meet a lot of people at the bar, at the clubs, at the parties. And to be honest, that was not the intention I was looking for. I was looking for something more serious, something I have right now, lasting 8 years.
Well, how did you get this girlfriend? Because you're saying being the nice guy doesn't work. I want to know how you got her, because I'm sure she dated you because she thought you were a nice guy. You do so much for her, and you're a very sweet guy, right?
But yeah, well, sure. I mean, we both kind of agree on the old school way of doing things, and I mean, she likes taking care of me, and I like taking care of her, and this is like I'm not saying everybody has to do it the old school way where the girl goes and stands in the kitchen and cooks something up, and the guy makes sure the house is fixed and the cars are fixed and everything is working. But that's how it ended up working for us, and he is happy. When she says, "Oh, I cooked this for you," I see the smile on her face. It's not just an act. It's
Yeah,
genuine.
well, because she likes to cook.
Yeah, and it's the same way for me, where I like to make sure everything is handled. The financials are handled. The cars are working. The house is in order. This is the old school way of doing it. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do it this way.
Right. But I think it's compatibility. Like, I think it's not the method. I think you just found a woman you're compatible with. This girl likes to cook, right? But not every girl likes to cook. You tell another girl to cook, she's just going to give you the backhand, right? It's a compatibility issue, right?
But there is this other guy who is willing to cook for her, of course. It's finding the compatible partner.
Yes.
And it's the moment I sometimes say, yeah, my girlfriend, she can cook something really nice. I will get women saying like, "Oh, you're a misogynist for having this old school way of doing things when it's just how things turn out for us." And like I said, I think it can turn completely upside down if that's what the couple is into. But the core of my argument here is that man and woman together, it's you have to create a union. And I was actually listening to you about marriage as well, and I agree with a lot of things that were said from both sides, but it just everywhere where I turn it seems like this men and women thing. It's like a war going on.
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. 100%.
But it's the most stupid thing to categorize people, because you have smart women, you have dumb women. You have smart men, you have dumb men. You have bad men, you have bad women. You have good men and good women. It's the worst way to categorize people is by gender, really.
Right. That is definitely true, but the one difference, so here is the difference, right? At least here in my country, or where I'm at, is men make up over 90% of the crime. So even though you are right, there are some dumb women and there are some, but this is a reality. Men are a lot more dangerous than women. And when a woman goes on a date, so say a man and woman go on a date for the first time, The man has no worries over, is she gonna kill me? Is she gonna kidnap me? Is he gonna be like, right? Like, but the woman has to worry about those things, right? So, you know,
Sure.
it's like the risk.
I mean, I agree.
Okay, basically, like the risk reward is always going to be different for the man versus the woman, right? Man has little to no risk, right? It's all reward. For the woman, it's pretty much sometimes more risk than reward. That's why some women just don't really want to date or have no tolerance or patience for a man. That's why. It's because of that fact that men make up over 90% of the crime.
Well, I do agree with this 90% of the crime. It's explainable, of course. The thing is there is this 10%. And I know places in this world where I can go on a date and where I do have to be scared of not waking up in the morning. There's places in the world where men are scared of this.
Right. But it's not in America, though. You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not about pointing fingers, because if you ask most of the men, they will say, I don't agree with rape. It's a bad thing.
Actually, you'd be surprised. That's actually not true. No, there was a college study done. I think over 60% of men confessed. This is new. I could send it to you if you want to look into it. Over 60% of men, they literally actually admitted that they would commit rape if they could get away with it. These are guys that admitted it. Yes, this was like a study done. It's a recent one. Yes.
That's very scary.
Yeah, man. So I will definitely say I think Europe's better, honestly. I think European men are classier and not as crazy as American men, for sure. But you got to keep in mind, like, the American men, man, they're fucking psycho. They actually hate women. Like, I'm not joking, man. 60% admitted this.
That's the thing. A lot of this toxicity, I do see it coming over from the States, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all kinds of toxic ideas are coming out of the States. And I don't want to... I mean, it's a great country. I don't want to talk bad about it, but it seems like something is going terribly wrong down there.
And it's not only with women. Like, look at the crime rates. Look at what, even the crime man on man, right? Look at what happened to, did you know what happened to Kirk? The fucking, the podcast dude. Yeah, look at what the fucking American men are doing, right? So that should go to show you their mental states. You get what I'm saying? I don't see that happening in Europe, right?
Well, I mean, it doesn't happen to this degree in
exactly.
Europe, but I'll be honest. I've seen it myself where 12 to 13-year-old boys stab each other for a pair of sneakers. It happened
really?
Right in front of my eyes on the school playing yard. And
oh my god. Okay, I don't want to hear about that. Sad. That's crazy. But
it's really sad. I mean, I'm not gonna deny. I mean, there is something about violence and men. I'm totally agreeing with that. Yeah. It's the violence of action that something biologically within us. I'm sorry I have to say that, because I have to believe that it is true. When you look at history, I do think there's enough reasons why this has developed within us, or why evolution has created the man we have today. But yeah, of course, it's obviously not working out for the society nowadays.
Right. Yeah. So think about it. So if you agree, like, a good majority of men, at least in the U.S., are violent. A woman's worst nightmare is ending up with a guy that's violent or like harasses her, right? Even if he's not violent, if he's always bitching and, because it's like a relationship's supposed to make you happy, right? So it's a net loss if the guy is yap, like always nagging or is violent. So do you kind of get what I'm saying? I think most American men are not dateable. If they're all violent and can't control their impulse, you're just not dateable. No woman is wanting a violent man, right? So I think that's where the divide comes, you know, and where women are kind of not trusting. So yeah, that's definitely what it must be. I mean, but what do you think the solution is? I mean, like, what would you propose? Because obviously, like, if you had a daughter, you wouldn't want her just dating. Like, you would want her to be cautious, right? As you should, and to be
I will
careful.
be really honest. I moved to. I'm not religious, but I'm trying together with my girlfriend. We have decided to move our life in a more old school way because we've seen that these traditions that lasted 2,000 years were part of some team that did work back in the day. I mean, for example, no sex until marriage. It's clear why that was there, for example. And most of these rules are pretty. I mean, if you start to think about it, they had some reason to exist. And
Calvin, you next, man. Add me on Discord. Dude, some guy in my chat said there are women who are attracted to violent men. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see why women are the way they are, man? This man believes that women like violent men. Now do you see the problem why they're the way they are, uptight, they don't want men? Because, like, guys say shit like this. You know, and they're afraid.
The thing is, in my time as the good guy, I obviously did see multiple occasions where women chose for a guy that, I mean, it was not aware to them, but to all the guys around that guy, it was clear he had some red flags going up. But
she didn't know, though. Like, if she knew, she wouldn't, right?
Sure, but it's something about checking what a person does and why he does things. I mean, the macho behavior, it comes from somewhere, and it's kind of what led me from being a good guy. I started embracing some of my male sides, and it definitely did work in the dating world.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a personality thing. Because, like, for example, with me, I do not find those macho guys, like, attractive at all. Every guy that I've dated, you know, is what guys would call a feminine guy. You know, I am attracted to the guy that's quiet and just listens, right? But that's a personality thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that just because some women don't have good intuition and pick a guy with red flags because she's naive, that doesn't mean you should apply that with everything. I think men should just be themselves. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Because the thing is, you attract the woman. Huh?
And if you truly find a person you start to like and they like you too, you will turn back to yourself. You know, that's the way it works, for me at least. It turned me back to myself, and over these 8 years being in this relationship, I have turned back into that more normal guy, but it's not the eye catcher, sadly. And that's what I'm trying to say with the nice guys.
But sometimes if you're rude, you'll just get blocked. I mean, when you were all macho man, I'm sure you had some girls block you, right? Or like thought, you know.
No, not even.
Really?
Because I'm not sending any weird pictures.
Or like being rude or like.
For me, being macho, being protective, it's also trying to, you know, open the door for the car door. When
oh, well, that's different.
Before she gets in. It's part of this old school way of doing things, and it definitely works. I would tell.
Well, yeah, but that's called being nice, right? But that's okay. See, this is the issue. What American men think being a macho man is yelling and being rude. Here's the problem.
Yeah, that's not it.
You see why things are the way they are. American men believe that being a masculine man is loud and disrespectful and saying women shouldn't have the right to vote, right? Holding the door open and pulling the chair, these are good things. That's actually Like, do you get what I'm saying? That's called being, like, treating a woman well, right?
Sure.
Um,
But from the guys, I hear that like they don't want to do this anymore because, and sure, it's a bit of what you said. This this hate starts to set in eventually, which I fully agree with. My
Okay.
point is, it's not there at the beginning, and most of these guys that are incel, it's not even an insult to them. They kind of coined the term themselves. I know a guy who's like 28. He's still a virgin, and it's pretty sad actually. But the guy, he's a jolly guy, a bit autistic, but yeah, he doesn't get the girl. He's too nice for that. He's too autistic. He cannot keep the conversation flowing. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean,
But it doesn't mean he's turning mean. I mean, some do, and they don't want to hold the door open anymore, and it's kind of sad because this whole finger pointing, it's costing a lot of people, and it's not costing the people that are settling down nicely. It's not costing me anything. It's just sad to see how many of my friends, my colleagues, even not girlfriends, but girl uh, friends that are girls, it's clear that they have issue in the dating world, and it's just sad when you see these people growing more and more apart, really. And I kind of wanted to ask you, do you think that your live stream is helping it in any way, or maybe accelerating it in any way?
I think I try to help because, so I have another channel. My other channel has 500K on it. And, like, I do try to teach men, and I do try to break things down for men, like how women work or, why this is, just kind of answer their questions and, give them, because the problem is a lot of men are taking dating, listening to guys like, have you heard of that bald guy, Tate, Andrew Tate, misogynistic, red pill, incel guy?
Of course.
Yeah,
He's
that's
in
the
Europe.
problem.
He's in Romania now.
And it's outrageous. Like, how the fuck can men be looking to dating advice about women from another man? It's like, listen to the woman, right? She's a woman. She knows, right?
Well, I mean, that's. I'll be honest. Women sometimes they have the greatest insight, sure, and that's when it comes to like really like their way of processing things that can be really different from guys, and having understanding that is key. But sometimes it's the opposite, where just explanation it's not gonna do anything. I'm afraid it will be in a. I mean, for example, you say, "Oh yeah, I just won another argument or won another debate." I don't care.
always do.
If we hang up, you can say you won. It's all fine. But I do think there's an undertone there, and I don't mean to critique. And I do understand what gets the views, sure. But
Do you not think that I slayed those debates? I totally won all of them.
well, I studied economics.
Really? No way.
Economics.
Okay.
And I mean, when you're going to debate about economics, I think it's the most funny thing because if you studied it just like me, there's so many influences. It's not really,
okay.
It's so
I
hard
did
to
say
debate.
that. Yeah, no. So I did mention to the guy that it's a multitude of different reasons, but I pointed to the most obvious examples, right? Because also something I'm very aware of is this is a guy that doesn't know what he's talking about. Because it's not true that women with the same degree as the man applying for the same job, American women, are causing wages to go low. Things that will cause the wage to go low is when there's no longer a need to pay that amount. The standards have changed. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
this
but
is
if
in
it's
America. You
that-
got to keep in mind this is, I don't know what's going on over in your country, but here in America, I don't know if you're aware of like the immigration issues and why Trump got elected and all
Sure,
of
we
these.
have them in Europe too, but
No, I don't know if it's at the same scale as it is here. So nothing I said was incorrect.
I would even say it's bigger here. And
Bigger.
the thing is about yeah, but back to the wages. I mean, if it's said that women earn less, like 70 cents on the dollar that a man makes, it does kind of imply that more women would drive down the wages.
No. So
would that not?
Can I provide more context to what women mean by they earn less?
Sure.
When women say that they earn less, usually what they mean, okay, for example, when a woman gets pregnant, right? Sometimes I believe they don't always get paid during the time that they're not able to be at work, right? So that's something that is not accounted for, things like pregnancy. And then two, the pink tax. Are you familiar with pink tax?
Sorry, with?
Are you familiar with what the pink tax is?
No.
Okay, so what the pink tax is, for example, women's deodorant costs more than men's deodorant, a lot more, right? Women's products, right, are more expensive than men's products, right? That is what is called the pink tax, right? So women are having to spend more money for the same products as men, and on top of that have additional cost. For example, periods and things like that. And beyond that, when you're a woman, you have to be more mindful of your safety. For example, you might have to, maybe instead of walking home, get a cab. Little things like this add up. Maybe, you can't really live in the open access apartment. You're going to have to pay $500 more in rent if you want the secure building. So that's what they mean by not equal pay, is what they're referring to. Because do you get what I'm saying? Like most jobs
I understand what you're saying. The thing is, at the end of the day, the production cost of these deodorants, they're not different from the men. The marketing cost, they are. And that's because a lot of women, they're obviously into beauty products, so there's a lot of higher competition.
But how do you explain deodorant? Like, I'm not talking makeup, but that's another good point, right? Women have to buy things like makeup. So that's under that umbrella of there are things women are having to spend more money than men because of things like makeup, because of things like their safety, need to pay to keep themselves safe, like the cab, right? And then how pregnancy is not taken into account.
At the end of the day, it's a choice for me whether I put gel in my hair or not, whether I put wax in there or not. And I'll be honest, my girlfriend, she is really minimalistic and about beauty products. And that's the thing I like about her, is her being natural. And the thing is, if you really want to look for these products, they are found at the same cost as the men products, but these are not nice labels. These don't have the pink labels. No, they will just have the Nivea for women. It's the same cost as the Nivea for men. But
you're right. And a woman can buy men's deodorant, right? She doesn't need to buy women's deodorant. She could buy men's deodorant. But want to know what the problem is? Most women,
the smell.
No, it's not. Most women are not aware of this. Most women don't even know about this tax. So women are unknowingly, not even realizing, spending more money than men, so they end up with less money than men. Does that make sense?
Well, that's not great, because I grew up in a home where it was all about saving the last pennies to make sure you have something to save. And I mean, it's something my mother taught me, and she taught it to her daughter as well, where my sister was not. We always had to look out. We didn't fall into some marketing scheme or some
right. But it sounds like your mom is educated, right? Your mom sounds like she's a smart woman.
Basically.
What?
It's education.
Right, but you have to keep in mind,
on the men.
Whenever you look at these like subjects, you have to think about, all of women, not just educated. You have to kind of look at the full picture. And the majority of women are not aware of things like the pink tax. They're not even going to know that it exists. And that's just one example. You know, they're not even going to be aware of like, oh, hey, I'm spending $300 on Uber just to get home safely, and men don't. Oh, my deodorant is like fucking like $3 more than the men's. They're not aware, but that's the point, because the money is being spent. There's more money leaving women's pockets than the men's.
Well,
right?
It comes down to education. I don't think you should blame the men for this, or even these product makers.
It's not about blame. It's more so about, like, you know, I'm just explaining to you, when women complain about unfair pay, that's what they're referring to. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and like, you majored in economics, like you should know what I'm talking about in the long-term impacts, right? So do you kind of, this is what they mean. Question? Go for it.
Here in Spain, they actually have that women can call in sick when they are on their period.
No, they can't here. No.
You don't have that there.
No. And sometimes, yeah.
Here it is, and they can call in up to 2 weeks sick per month. Does that, and it's paid leave. Do you think this would offset the balance?
Yeah, that's exactly, like, here in America, they don't get that. Companies don't consider their, yeah.
Do you think that's maybe not a bit too much, though? I mean, if somebody can get 2 weeks paid off every month, I mean, at the end of the year, that will turn into 12 times 2 is 24 weeks that you just get like paid leave. I mean, I'm not trying to be on a rope pulling contest,
right
here,
like, I understand what you're saying, but, you know, when we're talking equality, what you just said, yes, that is what it would take to create equality. Factoring in a woman's pregnancy, being considerate of that, hey, the man doesn't have a uterus, woman does, and considering things like that, that is what it would take to achieve equality, because men don't face the problems women do. A man's not going to be pregnant, getting fat, not able to move, right? Like, that's never going to happen, right? So is it fair that the woman... So do you kind of get where I'm getting at? You know, the woman, straight up, if it's late at night and she does not pay for an Uber, what are the chances of her getting, you know, in a bad situation if she walks late at night, right?
Well, that depends entirely on the area, and I bet if I walked through Chicago, I would get robbed as well.
Oh my God, it is dangerous here. It's literally everywhere.
I'm a small guy, I'm white, I think I would get robbed.
So it's just all these little things, right? So it's like, how do you make it equal to where women are reaping the same economic or financial benefits as men for the same degree and the same labor? So that's really where they're coming from when they say that, oh, the pay isn't equal, right? Does that make sense?
Wouldn't you think that giving 24 weeks of paid off time wouldn't offset this in a state where men are in a more negative position when it comes to financials?
I don't understand your question.
The 24 weeks they get paid off to leave on period time in Spain. The men don't get that. So
right, but the men don't have uteruses, right? The men don't.
No. I get that, but how much would this need to be offset? If 24 weeks paid off is the right amount to offset that would be.
I understand what you're saying, and maybe that's why there isn't equal pay in America, because you have a point. Where are you going to get the money from, right? So the company would have to pay for that. Chances are the company would, you know, try to kind of source that from cutting pay, or would cut, you know, get the money from somewhere. You are right about that.
I mean, what you see here in the shops is when the girl calls in sick, it's their colleagues ending up to work more hours. And
right.
That doesn't even matter if it's a guy or a woman at the end of the day. The hours have to be made, you know? So...
Right, I mean, it is complicated.
it for sure
You're right.
Sounds like a nice nice suggestion to oh, here you go, there's some money, there's some days off. But at the end of the day, I don't think we can try and create balance in this way. I think it's like a pendulum that keeps on swinging.
Right, you're absolutely right. And so this is where I think like that this is why it's a complicated topic, to be honest, and that's why there really hasn't been a real solution, because it is true that it isn't fair, and there is it's not really equal pay when women have to, have the burden of, the additional cost, and then, their hormones and their uterus is not, pregnancy is not taking into account. But at the same time, you are right. Both these things are true. So it's one of those things where honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to solve it, to be honest, or any of us could solve that. I think this is a really complicated one.
Without due respect, I don't think you can solve it. I don't think I can solve it.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think anyone can, to be honest. I think it's simply too big for that.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do understand birth. It's a huge burden. It's a huge task. It is one of the only things that keep us going as a human race. So I do.
But that's where
kind of
I believe the
prefer
government should
medical.
step in. I feel like the government should, where how you asked, oh well, why should the men burden that or be burdened by this, right? Shouldn't the government fund or I get do you get what I'm saying? I feel like the government should put out that money.
I'm pretty market libertarian when it comes to that. I kind of hoping
But
you
that's,
would agree with that.
well, I feel like that's what the government's for. When you have a situation of where women are not being paid equal, but if you do pay them equally without the government's government intervention, right? The men are at an unfair, they're having to do more work or take less pay. That's what government's supposed to be for. That's what I think. So that we could solve these kind of problems, right? So rather than the government burning money on dumb shit, giving free cash to people that are not supposed to be here, the immigration issue, and there's a lot of stupid things that at least this country spends money on, right? That, would be better used on things like solving the pay gap. So that's what I think, but, I had no idea that women in Spain had equal pay. Ladies, take notes. Honestly, I might go to Spain. It's Spain, right?
Feel free to come and hang out. But if you're gonna stay here, make sure to learn the language. We don't want these people not learning the language.
I will definitely take note. But yeah, if I definitely gonna work in Spain.
Language. Spanish is beautiful, really. Really, it's worth learning.
Definitely take notes. Do you have any advice to give the incels? As a guy that kind of gets it, we pretty much agree on everything. So I want you to kind of give advice to the incels.
That's why I wanted to come on.
Yeah.
To calm everyone down a bit, and especially after getting banned in your chat for saying I will pray for people.
No way, you actually got banned? Who the fuck banned you?
I don't know. I think it might have been. I thought it was you at first.
No, I wasn't doing any bans. My mods were. So who the fuck did that?
Then it might be Marissa. I said I'll pray for you, and then she said, "Yeah, bless your heart is an insult. I don't take that, but it's fine." I was listening, and I do agree. A lot of these people have strong opinions. I do think you have strong opinions. Everybody does. If I need to give advice to the boys, to the incels, is really keep your head up. You will find somebody that's worth it, that you can learn to love, and you just need to. Face the world, go in there, and you shall find. That's the reality. Just keep your head up, and
tell them to be nice to women.
Sure, be nice. Like I said, open the door, keep the door open.
Take notes.
Yeah, I moved here to Spain because the people say hello more often. That's pretty crazy, but at the end of the day, I noticed that having a pretty big impact on my life. I mean, if people start the day smiling, saying "Hola, buenas," then it makes you way lighter, you know? If people are just staring at you with their fucking annoyed face and years of stored up rage, yeah, you're not gonna feel great, you know? It
Guys, do not call me while I'm on a call or I will block you. Hey, Seven, some guy called me while we were on the phone, so it disconnected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
do you
thought you
guys,
just left me hanging
if
there.
if you call me while I'm on a call, I will unadd you and you're not gonna get to talk to me. I'm not gonna warn you guys again. Next time this happens, I'm gonna block the guy that doesn't. Anyways, go on.
Here I thought the nice guy was just having to make room for this macho again, you know?
Huh?
Here I was thinking this nice guy was gonna be pushed aside because some macho guy came in and called, you know?
No, absolutely not, man. Like honestly, like these guys when they call while I'm on a call, it's like I don't even want to interview them.
No, I understand, but I don't know how much of that you got. I just told the
Yeah.
guys to keep their head up
And be nice to women.
yeah, stay positive. Like not just women, it's also to the guys. I just wanna like what I said before. I just wanna say that again. You know, girls. I don't know how many compliments you get on a day, but I as guys we rarely get them. We rarely get them, and if you do give one compliment, it will stay in that guy's head for years and years and years. I still remember.
And what
10
was that
years ago.
compliment? I'm just curious.
That was a good debater. Seriously, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, she was my crush as well, and I didn't do anything about it. Like, I could kick myself for that. So, guys, take action. You know, if that's a good girl, you know, treat her well and go after it. But support the guys. I mean, like I said, being a guy is a lonely life. Like I think you girls underestimate that, and I don't want to
women
be
are
in this
lonely
competition,
too.
you know.
A lot of women
Sorry?
are lonely as well. Like I don't think it's any different. Like honestly.
I think that when women are lonely, it's not the same. It's not the no contact lonely. It's no.
I think women are more
valuable
happy
contact.
or like they're more okay. They're more content with being alone, maybe, but I mean, I think that men need to learn how to enjoy their company, right? Because a woman, she could be
But
alone and it won't really get because she enjoys her company, right?
no. It's the same for a guy. It's the same for a guy, and the thing is, you will learn to live alone, and that's where you get your strength as a guy. Where you start your projects, where you start your companies, your businesses.
But that's a good
That's
thing.
all. Yeah, that's all on you. That's all alone time. But the thing is, you will rarely get people coming up to you in a random location saying, "Oh, you look good today," or "Hey, I noticed you got this shirt. Where you get it?" It's girls having this constant social interaction that guys have on a way less lower level. You know,
Right.
I do agree. Girls can get lonely, and I think when women really get lonely, it's not that people don't talk to them. It's when there's no actual interesting conversation going on. People not actually listening, just being there to be there. And sure, that's loneliness as well. But being alone in your room for years and years, that's a different loneliness, and that's the loneliness the Incel guys experience. And I after years, it does turn you mean, sure, and that's what I wanted to agree on with you. But I don't think they start out mean. I do think we have to give the guys some, you know, this whole mental awareness, that's going on in the U.S. that you see online. I do think guys have their role in that, and I do think there's a lot of things guys don't understand about women, and it's the other way around as well. I don't think you women understand how lonely it is as a guy. I mean, I did groceries today. I visited like 5 shops, and I've got like, this is Spain, so they all say hello and they all smell, which is really great. But aside from that, there's no real conversation. It's like, move along, boys. Well, I mean, before me is a woman, behind me is a girl, and they're all doing some talk with each other, and yeah, we guys need to do that more often as well, Yo, man, you have a cool car. Yo, your shoes look good. Just, pep each other up.
Yeah, take care of the bros. The bromance.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Honestly, I fully agree.
That's great. That's great to hear.
I think everybody should have a community. Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely. And I don't think the incel community is the good answer. I'll be honest to all the incels. I think you should just look for bros that want to go outdoors, do some work on your body, do some work on your hobby, get a project.
Oh, and tell them to block Andrew Tate. Seriously, please. Maybe they might listen, since it's coming from
you know. It's impossible. He's on the shorts on 100,000 different accounts. He got the whole Hustler University to market himself on YouTube back in the day. So,
but you should do your best to block Andrew Tate. You definitely shouldn't be fucking following Andrew Tate, right?
But what is important is knowing that whenever he says crazy stuff, it's most likely to get views. I mean, there's more people that say crazy stuff to get views, right? So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's. I'll be honest. I sometimes laugh about it. I do, because I understand that you should no way take that literally. Like, do you take it literally, or do you think the just the normalizing of this kind of stuff?
It's the normalizing, it's like that's the problem. It's because women are having to, deal with the mess, right? So even if Andrew Tate is trolling, it's like, wow, what the fuck? It's like us girls are basically having to deal with the bullshit, right? Or having to deal with the burden of Andrew Tate's fucking retard couple. Yeah. So that's what it is. Whether Andrew Tate believed it or not, if no one listens to him, we wouldn't give a fuck. But it's the fact that this is having an impact, so he's basically launching attacks on women. Because he knows he's having this effect.
What do you think of his brother, Tristan Tate?
I think he's worse than Andrew Tate, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like that guy, honestly. Like Andrew Tate sucks, but that guy, 100%, like, I don't know, man. What do you think?
I'll be honest. I think Tristan is a lot less extreme.
No, man.
More about what he says.
I think Tristan Tate probably fucking, I think that dude's more likely to be violent towards women. Like, I think that dude probably, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're both bad, but...
Tristan is worse than Andrew?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
I'm sorry. I don't understand, because when I look at the guys, I see Tate, okay, bald, muscles.
Like, Tate's kind of just, like, retarded, right? But I feel like Tristan Tate, like, I don't know, like, I saw this one clip, and he was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was saying some deranged parenting advice, it was something like,
kids up the mountain,
Huh? Like,
They can fight animals.
I don't know. I just think Tristan's worse, honestly. Like, they're both bad, honestly. They should both be blocked. I think Andrew Tate has a worse impact on society, for sure. But individually as people, right? Like, if I had to pick between being in a room with Andrew Tate or being in the room with Tristan Tate, I'd pick Andrew Tate. You know, I think I'd be
Really?
safer. Yeah, man, because, like, his brother seems like a deranged, like, woman abuser, honestly. I just think Andrew
Yes.
Tate has a worse impact on society. That's just my opinion. I have to pull up the clip for you guys later. He said some crazy stuff. It was to the tune of. Did you hear how these anti-abortion men were speaking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm European.
It was
so
like to the
I have
tune
a
of
little
like
bit
that
of,
kind of shit. You know, it's like I heard something like that. But no, I do not like Andrew Tate. But I do think his brother is probably a worse person. Or more.
That's very okay. I mean,
Like, they're both
sure.
bad.
From my point of view, I completely understand what you're saying
Yeah.
About Andrew. But Tristan, he looks like a well-dressed, a well-spoken, well-articulated person. To be honest, I kind of like him more because he seems to think out what he says more instead of Andrew, who just thinks, well, what can get some views, you know? I do think Tristan I think he would be better like for women. I do think
Really?
so.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both bad, but I think Tristan's probably not. You know, guys, come on. Okay, now you've gotten me in trouble, and I have people saying olive oil around ex Andrew Tate. I want to make it clear, and Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker. They're both terrible. I'm just saying that his brother's worse. I think. You know.
Have you kept up with the news about that case?
No, I haven't. So what's up with the case?
I haven't kept up either. It's just they're free now, you know, or they're on bail or whatever. I don't even know. But the thing is, if for me, if it was all true, I would expect them to be handled more severely already. You know what I mean?
I believe the Romanian courts are kind of corrupt, honestly. You know, because in some countries it's like kangaroo court, so it's hard when like it's in countries like that. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And even in honestly, so it's just tough. But whether he's guilty of those crimes or not, which by the way I think he likely is, it doesn't change the fact that he is really ruining society. He's had a very bad impact on men, right? There are men that actually are, you know, they have a girlfriend, they're blessed by God, and they're actually cheating on her just because Andrew Tate said that if you want to be a top G and a real man, you better have 5 girlfriends. And they're destroying their lives. He's literally tricking retarded men into destroying their lives. So he's not only hurting women, he's actually hurting the men too, but some men are too slow to see that. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, I do agree with this. What if we talk about the women they interact with? What would you say about that? If I'm
I actually believe all of the women in his videos are paid actors. I'm not joking. Paid actors.
You don't think there's women that are interested in driving around in a Bugatti and being on a yacht?
I definitely, but that doesn't make them serious. You know, they're just here to take the picture of the car and then they go home. You know?
I think there happens something in between going home and the picture, but
no way. Like, I have met guys with like nice cars, and like, trust me, none of them are getting sex over having a nice car. Like, the girls will take the pictures, you know, go inside the car, you know, ride in it, but they're not gonna have sex with a guy that they don't know or maybe don't even like just because of the car.
No. But the moment they are spending time on a yacht, I mean, I've got some boating experience for myself, and I know how it goes on, you know?
I've never done that or, you know, been on a yacht, but I do know guys with the nice cars, and I can tell you, like, they're not getting sex over it, I mean, you might have a chance to get to interact with a woman, right? But you need to be a good guy for this to work. Does that make sense? Like, money only works if you're a good guy, right? Because it kind of lures them. But at the end of the day, if you're not a good guy, like, it's not going to materialize. For example, like products, right? You could dump a shit ton of money into marketing a shitty product, right? And tons of people will buy it, right? But if it's not a good product, this will fail. Eventually, once everybody buys it and sees it's a shitty product, it's gonna die. This is a man with a lot of money, but who's not a good person, right?
Sure.
That's the best way to put it.
I think it's biologically speaking, a nice car or a nice house. It just signifies you can take care of your offspring or a
right.
girl.
So she'll talk to you, she'll get to know you, but if you're crazy or if she thinks you're abusive, then that's the end of the story. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like women don't just go to decide to be with a man just because of that, you know, only if there's no red flags. Yeah, she'll ride off into the sunset. Like, does that make sense?
Sure,
You know?
but when I brought it up, the women, it's like there is specific women that put themselves in these situations.
Well, I feel sorry for them because those are the women that are gonna wind up in bad situations. You know, if you go with a guy who's abusive only because of a car, like that's sad. I think that's a woman with low self-esteem.
I don't think it's only about the car because I've even met people
or money, sure. Like if you're only if you're the
I've
guy who
met
is mean,
I've met 4 couples where the guy is super aggressive. He hurts her and she comes crying to her friends and next week and next month and a year later she's still with the same guy, completely head over heels. Every time he hits her, it's like a magnet to her. I have seen this, and you brought it up that there was this guy who said that some women like this aggressive.
They don't
style.
like it. They're mentally ill. Do you understand? Like mentally ill.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. Okay, that's bringing it into another sphere. I mean, that's completely fine.
Right, because she's crying, she's complaining. If she liked it, like, I mean, obviously, you know, you like when your girlfriend is affectionate. Are you going to complain to your friends and cry?
Of course not.
Exactly. So if a woman liked it, there wouldn't be crying. There wouldn't be any of this. They're crying because they don't like it, but it's because they're mentally ill and they need a doctor. Seriously, they need a psychiatrist and therapist, professional help. That's why they don't leave. Do you understand that? So it's not that they like it, right? It's actually
it's like
a sick thing.
Syndrome.
I'm not a doctor. I don't understand why women do this. I have a friend who is like that, what you just explained to me, where her boyfriend has done the craziest fucking things, man. Like, actually, like, put his hands on her, right? And no matter how many times I tell her, like, it doesn't go anywhere. So I don't even bother, like, telling her to break up with him anymore because I already know she's not going to do it. But
exactly.
But she's not with him because she likes it. She's just mentally ill. Huh?
Like, even for the friends around her, it becomes unbearable.
Yeah, right.
This fucking spiral going on.
Because these girls need a doctor. They don't need to be like, they need to go to a therapist and a psychiatrist. Obviously they have low self-esteem or and something else going on. They're mentally unwell, right? I don't know what it is. Obviously, like, these doctors, they train for, like, you know, years, right? So no way that either one of us is gonna know. I think it's probably more complicated than we think, but it's obviously a mental illness, and they're not happy with this. And I think these men that date these girls are just taking advantage of a mentally ill girl. It is no different than dating a girl that's retarded. You know, like a retarded girl who can't talk or who's disabled. What is the difference between a man? Huh?
Partly.
No, it is the exact same thing. Imagine a man.
Listen.
Well, let me finish my point. Okay. If a man is in a relationship with a woman where he's mistreating her and knows she comes back like this, but she's crying, what is the difference between that and a guy dating a girl that's completely, fully retarded? What the fuck is the difference? Right? He's taking advantage. He's leveraging mental illness.
The difference is not necessarily there, but the point I want to make is that most of these relationships that are so what's the right word for it? Like dysfunctional relationships.
Yeah.
It's from my experience, it comes from a very low self-esteem of the lady, and maybe some control issues with the guy sometimes. You know what I mean?
Obviously, mental illness. This is more than control issues. If a man's putting his hands on a woman, that's not a control problem, man. Like that's something else.
But like, I don't know what to say for this mental illness. I don't know the name. My point is, like, these people, they're like magnets to each other, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
It's both of them being like mentally unstable and being attracted to a person that gives them this feeling, and then not knowing how to handle it or something. I mean, sure, if it's like a rational guy and he's dating this low self-esteem women, then you could say, yeah, it's leveraging, like she is of low intellect, or
right,
retarded, whatever. The thing is, I do think that, like, as like a guy who has everything going in his life, I wouldn't date that kind of women, you know?
Exactly, right.
So
that
it's
too.
like it's like these people attract each other, and they love spiraling down. It doesn't matter in which way, if it's going getting high together or beating the shit out of each other. It's their way of. I think, like I said, it's a specific kind of guy who's sure, and there might be a tape out there looking for this, who has his head on the swivel and he's just looking for the leverage. But I think most of the boys and girls in relationships like these, I think they both have issues.
I think something else. Here's what I think. So I think what happens is, I believe that the majority of men, a lot of men, happen to be, abusive towards women. So I think what happens is the women whom are not mentally well or whom have low self-esteem, because obviously a woman who will not tolerate this behavior, this man who is abusive towards women won't even get past one conversation, right? The woman will dip, right? So what happens is the girl, by chance, eventually what ends up happening, he finally meets the one with the low self-esteem, and that's the one who doesn't leave. So it's not that they pick each other, it's that the low self-esteem girl is the only one who doesn't run, only one that gives him a chance. Does that make sense? So I don't agree that women are seeking these men out. It's just that she's the only one that doesn't run. I hope that kind of makes sense. Do you get what I mean? Because she doesn't see the red flags that the other girls do.
It's a very logical way of looking at it. I kind of, I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but, I think men need to do better, honestly. I think that, if you're a man and you see that a woman's not mentally, like, there's something off, it's like, what the fuck is the point of you if you're not going to get her help? It's like, why, like, this is what I'm saying. This is another example of men kind of embarrassing themselves, right? How men are being incels and mean.
We're not doctors, and you
can't. Well, no, but like what I'm saying is, I think that maybe rather than be mean to your girlfriend, why don't you encourage her to see a doctor? Of course, you're not a doctor, but you send her to a doctor. What's the point of a relationship if men are going to exploit? Like men like your friend. I think your friend should have told this girl to go to therapy. Go get a doctor rather than hit her. Does that make sense? This is another point that women kind of have. It's like, man, like, what's the point of dating a man if this is what they're doing to them?
I don't believe I said it was my friend. but okay, it's people I've seen, but it
or
doesn't
or
matter.
whatever, whoever it is. But you
Yeah.
understand the point I'm making. It's like this is another
Yeah,
example of men not being men. It's like if you're a man, you're gonna help the girl, not do this cycle. This is not
Sure.
acceptable at all. This is
Sure.
not a partner thing or oh they both attract each other. No, it's men failing to assist their woman. That's what I see it as, not two bad people attracting bad people. That's how I view it. You know, it's like you're supposed to care for a woman.
So you think the guy is ultimately responsible for the women he's dating?
Not necessarily, but let me give you an example. Like one of the guys that I dated cried too much. That's why I broke up with him. But something I did for him because his mom, you know, didn't get him any help. I fucking spoke to his mom and I told him, "Hey, you need to get your son help. He's not right. You know, he never saw a doctor, therapist, anything, right? Because he always had good grades. You know, he seemed like the perfect kid, right? But he's not happy, you know." Mom didn't care as long as kids doing good grades, right? So does that make sense? I feel like, you know, if you love the person you're with, I mean, you know, it's not hard to get them help. So if a man is in a cycle where he's abusing a woman, this is pathetic on the man's part. Does that make sense? Because, you know, it took me no effort to have a conversation with his mom. It was no effort, seriously, right? So does that make
But at the end of the
sense?
day, you left him.
Yeah, but the reason why I left him is because obviously, man, like I am not gonna get depressed. Like you get what I'm saying, man. Like it was
You're
like
not gonna
all
get
the
put
fucking
down.
time, man. Like you know, like you feel what I'm saying. Like yeah, I try to help, but I feel like you got to put yourself first, right? You could try, but you know, there's a point. You know.
Then I want to get back to why the guys keep up with the relationship with like a mentally unstable woman is mostly because of this complete loneliness of the years before, and then being bonded to a person. It happens quite quickly, you know. If you don't watch it, it happens too quick, even for the women to say like, "Whoa, you're coming on quite strong here." You know what I mean? So for me, it comes back to the point of loneliness and trying to fix that, and then even willing to pick up somebody with a lot of baggage, and then you're gonna just see how it goes. And of course, if you're saying like, yeah, I think the guys should have a certain responsibility, like I have a sense of loyalty. If something goes wrong, or if my girlfriend had issues pretty early on, I try to take care of her, you know, and
Right. You
in
know, it's
whatever
not hard.
way, shape, or form, you know. Like I studied economics, and aside from that, I had another study, computer science. And I gave up on the study for this girl because I had to work, basically. And it's something where you take your responsibility, not for
Wait,
yourself, but also
you
for your
left
women.
college for her?
For my second study, yes.
Oh, okay,
Computer
wait, but you
engineering.
still have econ.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you really need two degrees, so there you're good.
Sure, and I didn't even do anything with economics per se. It's mostly in my business life that it helped. But my point is, like, if you're in a relationship, you should be there for each other. If one has a bad time, you should pick up. And if one day I will have a bad time, and maybe she will pick it up for me, you know? You support each other in this way.
100%, man.
I mean, I think a lot of the guys will feel responsibility for their girl, where they come to like, sure, maybe it's good to get looked at by a psychologist. Don't mention it in this way, because that will get a fight if you say it like this. You should go get checked out. But it's
Well, you
hard,
obviously don't say it like that. I mean, obviously,
No, of course.
there's a difference between being condescending and coming from a place
Of
of
course.
concern and
Of
wanting
course.
to protect her. Because obviously, just in case, oh, this is for your own good. What if the next person takes advantage of your mental illness, right? If you go at it from that angle, then, no woman's gonna
No, of
take
course not.
offense. Like, usually guys, when they're telling a woman something, they're being rude. The fucking same guy keeps calling me over and over again. The dude just got blocked. The same guy, Nick. Yo, come on, me, come on. Put me on. I just blocked him. Fucking 3 times. Keeps calling and calling and calling. You are not getting a debate.
It's my turn now, okay?
Yeah, no, the guy's blocked. So guys, learn a fucking lesson. If you do not follow the fucking rules, you're getting blocked. You guys understand that. So, when I say do not call while I'm on a call with somebody else, do not do it. Because from now on, there's not going to be 2-time, 3-time. I'm blocking every and anybody that calls once, even just 1 time while I'm on a call. You guys understand that, You guys got to be patient. But anyways, I agree with you. But, the point I'm trying to make with the men who are in the toxic relationships is it seems like they are not wanting a relationship. It seems like they're wanting a woman to exploit. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem.
I do think it might look like this to a lot of women.
How
I
can
do
it not
understand
be the case? I don't understand.
Because from my point of view, and like I said, I'm old school, so we have divided the responsibilities in whatever I like and whatever she likes, and it turned out to be pretty old school. She likes the house, I like the mechanical stuff, the handyman kind of shit, and it's people need to take responsibility at the end of the day. And when you're in a relationship, you cannot make decisions for yourself. You have to do it for the whole relationship, for both the people in it. And I understand a lot of the women, they will feel like, oh yeah, I'm a strong girl, I can fix this for myself. But this makes the relationship sometimes harder, because sometimes the guys do want to take responsibility, and it's always seen as this way of oppressing, of keeping her down. Well, sometimes it's just, for example, if I say to my girlfriend, I don't think it's good if you go out tonight,
Okay, well, that's
Does
different.
Does this sound like a restriction to you?
Well, want to know the problem with that? Here's the problem with don't go out, okay? So it's one thing to say, hey, I want you to be safe, right? Does that make sense? Without telling her you can't do this, do that. But listen, no woman wants to be dating a mom or a dad. No woman wants that, right? And nobody, no man or woman wants to feel like they're being held hostage in a relationship. And it's not good for your relationship if you're doing things like this, like don't go out, don't wear this. Want to know why? Because this person goes from being happy with you and wanting you to be in their life to, man, like this is a headache. Like you become like a nagging mom. Do you understand that? You don't want to do that,
It can be the other way around as well.
What do you mean?
Where the women are.
Right. Yeah. So on both ends, I think that it's important that people remember that, okay, this is my view. I feel like when you're dating somebody, they are a part of your life, but not your life. You need to respect, for example, like, I dated this guy. He loved nature and going hiking. I don't do that. So I tell him, do it on your own time. Right? Does that make sense? It's like you guys have to have your independence, right? Otherwise, it's going to not be a healthy relationship. You're going to feel trapped and unhappy. Does that make sense? You should be with each other because you enjoy each other's company. And it's not like you're in jail or, oh, I can't do this, or, oh, I'm losing freedom, you know? It's just not healthy, you know? You could do things to kind of, you know, get what you want. Like, if it's safety that's the issue, maybe you could go with her. She doesn't want to go with you, okay, well, then maybe you could wait up until she gets home. Like, do you get what I'm saying? You know, you could do things that will accomplish your goal, but without kind of cause damage to the relationship, you know, because no one wants to feel like they're kind of hostage, right? You're gonna make people feel suffocated if you act like that, you know.
True. The thing is, like, for all the, like you said, women, they have to get like this Uber because there's this certain risk.
Right.
And sometimes I experience my girlfriend being extremely naive
Oh, okay.
of the dangers that might be around. And the way you of course you're not restricting it, so you're gonna say, okay, you want me to drive you want me to pick you up.
Exactly.
The thing is, if one does not understand what it needs to be clear why I'm saying this, because she is so naive, she does not understand. He might think I'm just putting restrictions on because I want to put restrictions on, because I want to keep her under the thumb. Well, in my point of view, and of course I didn't word it the right way, like, hey, maybe not go out tonight, okay, maybe drive you. There's so many ways to word it, but the point being, like, her overlooking many of the dangers that might be around, and me as the boyfriend feeling extremely responsible, knowing that her family is not around. I'm taking care of her. I let her stay in my house because she got kicked out with her family. So all the responsibility of keeping her safe are on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if something goes wrong, I'm looked at the guy who doesn't do anything. I'm looked at by the family as like a guy that didn't protect their daughter. You know?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
on so many levels. It's not just keeping control, it's also protecting what I love, you know?
I understand what you're saying, but if this is like something where you guys argue about more than once, like at some point you got to drop it. Like it for the sake of having a healthy relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Cuz I do get what you're saying, but sometimes you got to just kind of like, you know, like do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, what's the end goal?
You gotta make them, let them fall.
Yeah, because you know, if you keep going and going and going, the only thing you're doing is like pretty much like, yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? You're just causing damage. She isn't gonna change her mind. So, if it's more than once, I drop it, right?
But if worst case scenario happens, what is expected that I will do? That I accept her? That I forgive her for something she didn't do? That we just move on with our lives?
Oh, like if something bad happened, like I
I don't
think.
think I could do that, to be honest. I'll be really honest.
Well, I mean, where I'm coming from is okay, if hypothetically she says, no, I don't agree with you, and you fight about it 2 times, she says, no, I don't agree. You could fight 20 times. She'll tell you the same thing, right? If all she will ever say is, I don't agree, you're damaging the relationship for no reason. It's about, like, do you get what I'm saying? It's about being logical, right?
What if it happens? She goes out and she does get, great.
If that's the case,
what could my response be?
okay, well, if that's the case, then it would have happened whether you fought with her 100 times or 2 times. Does that make sense? So,
Sure, but do you feel me? Do you
yeah.
understand me? I say I don't. If that happens, I have to move away just to protect myself from.
What do you mean move away? Like I would.
If something like that happened to my girlfriend whilst I have a feeling that I'm responsible for her, I think that would break me, to be honest.
I mean,
I don't think that should continue that relationship after she was,
I mean, I think, what makes sense to do is, like I said, try to talk to her. If she's never going to change her mind, don't ruin the relationship. And if something does happen, then you take her to help her file a police report. That's it.
So,
Things don't got to be so complicated.
well, complicated. The thing is, you're obviously expecting me to still be there for her.
I mean, after you file the police report and after a couple days and you talk to the police and stuff, I think it'll blow over and maybe she'll learn, right?
I'll be honest, I don't think I could make that my future wife.
Really? Wait, why?
One is the sense that I did not fulfill my responsibilities to her family.
Oh, wait, is it because she's not like a virgin anymore? Is it like that?
That's the first part is the responsibility that I thought I had over her, and that was not listened to, and this I felt my responsibility, even though she did not listen to me. I still failed. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think that's failing, because it's like you are, like, I feel like the fact that you told her already, you did your part, right? Because the thing is, this is your girlfriend, not your daughter, right? Maybe with your daughter, right? With your daughter, you don't let her go because that's your daughter. But I feel like where with a girlfriend, it's like your responsibilities, because she's a grown woman, your responsibility has been fulfilled when you told her, it's like you can't do anything more. All you're gonna do is just ruin the fight and fight if you keep bringing it up, right? Do you understand kind of what I'm saying with that? Like,
yeah, this is like not something from my current relationship. It's something from before that.
right.
The thing is, I'm like I don't go out. My girlfriend doesn't go out, so it's not even a debate for us,
Okay, well that's a good thing, yeah.
But like I said, I've been in this situation where people did have different goals. She obviously wanted to go out, and it's to a guy. It's you're when you're in a relationship, it does feel like you're responsible for her, and I do think you just said it as well, that if you're dating somebody and you find out there's some mental issues or whatever, you have the responsibility to help them out. And
right, but if they say no, but if they're fighting you, then that's different, right? Because again, do you agree that if somebody, whether it's the man or woman, is like no, 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 you are not accomplishing anything. You're wasting time fighting and ruining the relationship for no reason. Do you agree with that? Because nothing's gonna get resolved. So it's like that's all I'm saying.
I think the relationship was already doomed the moment we didn't listen to each other.
It's not doomed.
Having a conversation about it.
Well, I mean, I feel like you have to kind of accept that in life at some point when you're, in a relationship with a woman, at some point you're not going to agree on something and you have to learn. This is where I think boundaries are very important, right? Because if it's not going out, then maybe one day you might have kids and maybe you might not agree with, maybe like, for example, maybe you want the kids to have all A's, right? And maybe your wife might think you're being harsh, right? So are you going to divorce over that? It's like you got to learn boundaries, otherwise you're very likely to get a divorce, right? It's like you gotta. Do you get what I'm saying? You should be able to figure these things out. It's a very easy thing, right?
Well, I just chose to find a person more suited for me. I think that was the most.
Yeah, but it's never gonna be everything. You gotta understand that it's possible one day a disagreement may come up, and you gotta be strategic and tactful with the relationship, right? Do you kind of get what I'm saying? It's almost kind of like a science, like engineering, right? You don't want to be illogical and do stupid things that will just cause damage, like fighting for no reason. Does that make sense? You got to use
No.
logic.
It's detrimental to a relationship. I agree. I
Right.
mean, you were talking about marriage with some other guy on the call, and I think you both, or he at least said about needing to not have big argument points before even starting the marriage. Because if you're way off,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
no,
gonna
for
go
sure.
together.
100%, right. But also at the same time, you need to be able to handle disagreements properly without ruining the marriage, because you don't want it to be like, oh, the moment we have a disagreement, we're doomed. That's how people get a divorce. So that's where, I think if people learn boundaries and learned to accept that, a relationship's part of your life, right? And learn, those boundaries, like we'd see less divorces and less toxic relationships, because the guys that will fight and fight and fight and fight with their girlfriends over what they're wearing, they're fucking retarded. Like, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're ruining the relationship. Either shut up or break up with her, right? Like, you get what I'm saying? Or if you're nagging a woman about her phone, like, what are you doing? Like, did you just get a girlfriend to make her break up with you? It's like completely like crazy.
I would even call it the incels.
Yeah.
They don't like the word simping. And I would say if you're constantly gonna argue with somebody, you're actually simping for them as well. And I don't mean this when you debate somebody or have a good conversation, but once it's just disagreement and arguing, then yeah, for sure. I mean, it's different.
For sure. So that's really all I'm saying with that. It's like, it's just very dumb to like there's no I believe there's no reason to fight in a relationship. If you want to know my view on relationships, I do not think fighting is acceptable. Right? I've never tolerated a guy that's nagged or I've ever had a fight with. I don't think I've ever had any arguments or fights with any of the guys that I've dated, because I just don't think it's acceptable. Like, do you kind of get what I'm saying? It's very, what's the point, right?
Well, I do think conversations and
Right,
arguments
like
or
a
debates
conversation's
are
fine,
important.
but when it's a situation where it's nagging or the same thing over and over, okay,
Yeah.
I think that's fighting. I think the guy's ruining the relationship, and I'll leave over something like that. But a conversation's one thing, but if it's a reoccurring kind of nagging thing, that's fighting. Like, does that make sense?
I understand.
I think the
agree.
relationship should be fun, it should be a happy thing, right? What's the point of any of this if you're not both happy, right? Got to remember the point of even being in a relationship. It's to be happy, right?
Partly, I think a lot of the guys in this chat will agree with me when saying that part of a relationship is that long-term goal eventually. To be honest, I'm not even interested in girls for the short term. It's no point for me. It's just risk for STDs, risk for her taking my money, risk in every way. Where I'm just looking for somebody to build that future life with and eventually have children.
Right, but you want to build a life with them because you're happy
now.
together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Eventually,
Yeah. So both of you should be happier together than not with each other. If there's ever a moment where, people are feeling like they have more peace outside the relationship or they're happier without the relationship, that's a failed relationship. The point of the relationship is because you're happier together. That's why you got married. Does that make sense? That's how I think it should be.
No, sure.
Right. So therefore you don't fight with her, right? Go for it.
Men and crying. I mean, you mentioned it, and with the girl, I was having this first disagreement with that I mentioned. Not my long term thing. But,
right, your ex, yeah.
Before that, yeah. I eventually blew up the relationship by crying, and I actually thought about doing this. It wasn't like I just let go and it happened. But I always believe that crying in front of your woman is the a shortcut to ending the relationship.
It's not
Basically,
that, honestly. Okay, so you want to know why I left the guy that I left for crying too much?
Too much. I understand, but
But
I
it's
truly
not the
want to understand
crying.
where.
It's the negativity. So the guy that I was with, you know, it was every day, oh, I'm worried my friends don't really like me. And then I talk to him like, okay, well, you don't need them. Fuck them. Friends are poking holes in water, right? And then, oh, I'm worried you secretly don't love me. Same thing. Oh, I'm worried that nobody like it was the same fucking things every day, man. So it's not necessarily the crying, right? It's just like, man, I can't live like this, right? You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then I got him help from, you know, I got his parents to get him help, and it's like I just kind of felt like you know, no, it's not that, it's just that like he was it was to the point where it was so much negativity. He was dragging me down. You know, like the fuck, it's like the like I entered this relationship because this guy made me happy, and now I randomly find out that, you know, he's
making you depressed.
right, yeah, just like it's too much negativity, right? And it's not my responsibility to, you know, I think his mom needed to take care of her son. I think it was like that, you know.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It does sound kind of frightening, though.
But it's not the crying though, is what you're missing. It
No,
was
no,
the
no.
behavior.
And that's not. I didn't perceive the crying as the issue. I perceived making myself vulnerable as the issue, which led to her, not believing I was that invulnerable guy. So she left. That was kind of the the optic, the
Honestly,
way I
I think I
saw it.
know why she left. Like, I think she was like, "Wow, I can't believe he's crying over me going out. This is crazy."
No,
Does
no, no.
that
It
make
wasn't even
sense?
about that, to be honest. It wasn't even about that. It was already a bit later, and like I said, I already wanted to end it. And
Okay.
I had these. I'm still I'm convinced that crying is the ultimate way of ending a good relationship, and the way I did it as a test, so I put myself vulnerable. I already dated her for like 1.5 years, and I basically put some of my traumas out there, my what I've seen, what I've been through in my life. And basically when I did that, I had to cry, and it was planned, but it were real tears, because when I think of my trauma, not anymore, but back then, I saw a pregnant woman get stabbed, and I was there
Man,
to help her. So that was messed up. And
it's
the moment
crazy.
I cried, I could just see it in her eyes, how her position, or our thought of me as this rock completely disappeared. She saw me as a loser the moment I shed my first tear. And I mean, I understand. I did not bring happiness, but that's some of our fear as a man, that these opening your vulnerability, it it is not a happy time. But when you look online, you hear a lot of women saying, "Yeah, guys need to cry more often. Guys need to show their emotions more often because it's healthy to do so." But I'll be honest, the ones most um, punishing are the women, and not even the guys.
Well, the reason why that is like, for example, like obviously if the roles were flipped, if a girl was always crying and always negative with you, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted to date this girl, not fucking be her therapist. So the reason why this happens is because when women date a man, they're signing up for a relationship, and it's like you need to get a therapist. The reason why the girl leaves you after you start, you know, crying and unleashing is because you're supposed to get a therapist for that. That's what therapists are for, because you will ruin your relationship by dumping this negativity on it. Like, does that make sense? Like, that's where you need to go to therapy, right? Because it's not fair to
Sometimes,
put
yeah,
that on
but
the
I
woman,
think a lot of
honestly.
things in a relationship have to be shared. You know, you have to understand the person
Yeah, there's some
you're
things, but like
with.
things like, for example, like past things that are not relevant, right? Like, like the guy that I was with, like, why are you fucking telling me all of this shit about how, I'm worried my friends don't like me? You need to go to a therapist, man. What do you want me to do about that? What the fuck? Why am I hearing this, right? Or I'm afraid that you don't love me after I already told him the first time that this isn't true. Why are you fucking harassing me? Keep bringing it up and crying about the same thing. That's where you need to go to a therapist. You get what I'm saying? So I think men are just not really understanding, like, there's a difference between communicating something and you're unloading, you're kind of emotionally burdening her, right? Because if she did the same with you, you would leave also, right?
No, the thing is, I think a lot of the guys are loyal, and loyal to a point where loyalty means everything. It means life or death. So when people ask, "Do you really love me?" and that can be blown away. Oh, okay, I understand. If somebody's crying for months and months, that's a completely different situation. But if they show the tears just one time and the love is gone, then I would argue the love was not really there. And this might not be your situation, but this was mine. Where I do think eventually you have to be open about the traumas I mean, you don't have to be open, but if I want to talk about my traumas and the time is there, I'm not doing it in the middle of a fucking date night. But we were talking about our past lives. She was mentioning some stuff, and it brought my mind on, and it. I'm basically saying this to the guys as well. I mean, for every time they say show your emotions, it is kind of a fast track to ending it, to be honest.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, I don't know why she would leave you over that if it was just one time and you guys were already talking about it. Maybe there was other reasons, because usually a woman won't leave you just over that. They usually leave when it's a constant thing, to the point where it's like a man is making them depressed from, like, their negative energy is rubbing off on them. Does that make sense? And it's like, at that point, like, like, I think anybody should leave for that. If a man's getting depressed over a woman's negative energy, yeah, you should leave, right? You don't want two depressed people, and
Yeah,
vice
but
versa, right?
well, at the beginning, I told you my view of a relationship is to be there for the person when she falls, and I hope that when I fall, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 5 years, that she is there for me.
Right, but she could be there for you, but have you see a specialist for, because she's not a licensed doctor or a therapist. I think
And
they need
neither
to
am
be
I.
realistic, right? Right. So if you have a crying woman that's depressed or having mental issues, you need to have her, encourage her to see somebody that's licensed, right? Because, like, you guys are not therapists or doctors.
I get what you're saying, but that goes on the long term process of somebody crying their eyes out like every month, and I do understand that the overwhelming negativity is a relationship killer, but I do have to say there is something deeper about showing you without armor, being a guy without armor, completely destroying your image
I don't think
to
any
the
woman's gonna leave over that. If it's a one-time thing, I really doubt a woman's gonna break up with a guy over that, honestly. I've
I
never
do
heard
think
of
it costs
that.
some respect she has for you.
No,
I
I
do
don't
think.
think so. Like, women aren't, like, dumb. Like, women are aware that, men are human like them and have, everybody has trauma. I think that if a woman like actually leaves after that, she was probably already fed up. Like, does that make sense? Or like wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
really,
me
you
too.
know?
Me too. But
Yeah, so that's why she left. It's not because, oh, he cried. Like, she was already like, does that make
yeah,
sense?
once
She
she's
had
out
no
of the door.
patience, right? She was already done. So when you start crying, she's like, man, like, I'm already fucking done with this guy. Or, man, I'm not getting into all of this, right? Because she's already done, right?
Yeah, but do you understand that from a guy's perspective of loyalty, that that kind of rings weird?
Um, I mean, sure, but I mean, like, that's life. It's like there are things that,
Sure.
and you have to learn how to overcome those things, and both men and women have, like, their own, like, things that they don't like or things that have hurt their feelings, but it's about how you handle that, it's about being able to move on and, you get what I'm saying? Not let it really affect you that much, you got to keep life moving.
Yeah, true, true. You always have to keep your head up.
Right.
That's for sure.
Everybody has been hurt, offended, or, been uncomfortable or disappointed by another person's reactions. But it's about what you do after. Are you going to keep thinking about it and reliving it, or are you just going to drop it? Just move forward. So I think that's what matters. But I think we had a great talk. But a lot of these guys are like wanting a new caller. But yeah, we had a good talk. I'll see you in chat, and I'll try to unban you. What was your username?
Sven van Wier. But yeah, I want to thank you for this conversation. It was actually really good. Um, Believe it or not, I kind of feel like I've talked to another side of you. I'll be honest. I feel like this was a lot calmer than I see you normally.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, because when I'm reading a chat and it's incels, the pitchfork comes out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I hope you listen to me and kind of understand that they don't.
Man, I'm not gonna have any empathy for the incels that are like, fuck you, da-da-da. Like, you see the comments, man,
The
like,
respectful ones, please have empathy for those.
oh yeah, like the guys that are good, like, like I reward good behavior, obviously, if you couldn't tell that. I always reward good behavior. But yeah, no, an incel that's being a bitch, you already know I'm gonna unload, so yeah, I'm gonna be nice to the ones that are good, but then the ones that are bad, yeah, I'm gonna fucking, bring it heavy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's great to hear you from this side, and I'm kind of convinced you're not just rage bait now.
I never rage bait. I keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Sometimes it's a bit hard to judge. It's a bit hard to judge.
That's funny. Well, good talk. Where I'm gonna try to get to the rest. Yeah. Bye bye. All right. Who's next? Don't feed the trolls. Man, it's hard, man. It's hard because I just fucking hate the incels so much. But you guys, we have gone a while. Here's what I'm gonna do. So all of my social medias are located in the link tree. And, and I'm hoping that, the talk I had with that guy helped you guys. The reason why I went longer with him is because I felt like a lot of the things he was asking are common questions, right? So that's why, I think it's a very, something important for you guys to hear. But yeah, definitely you guys do not harass your girlfriend. You shouldn't be fighting in a relationship. You should, it should all be happy. That's a normal relationship. It's not normal to fight. I don't like how society normalizes dysfunction, right? When it's not, right? It really isn't. So, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because I will be back on. I'm going to be back in like 5:10. Give the phone a bit to charge, and also give you guys an opportunity. If any of you guys wonder if I have any social medias, all socials are located in the link tree. If you guys want to subscribe to the Spicy content site. Take this time to do that. I will be back in 5:10. He wasn't? Okay. Yeah. I think he accused you of doing it. But anyways, I'll see you guys, but hit that notification bell so you get notified when I'm back, and if you want to debate me, Olive Oil Run, and I'm going to be adding you guys back too, but make sure you message me what topic you want to debate. So, that's what we're going to do. See you guys in 10.